Ronin Audiobooks presents Wicked Players, written by Paul Kyriazi, performed by Christina Ramos, Josie Barber, Cal Waite and Tom Gully, narrated by the author.
When Julia Rivera saw the two beautiful aces that had been dealt to her, she felt like the eye in the sky was zooming in on her. No, not God's eye, which would have been better than the casino eye that saw everything, every person and every bet at the Las Vegas MGM Grand. Julia looked up at the female dealer and could see in her eyes that she was mentally screaming at her.
What the hell are you doing? You've got aces. Perfectly dealt aces. No one is onto us. Split 'em, you bitch. Split 'em. Ma'am? Ma'am?
Huh? Oh, what?
Hit or stand?
I can't be seen winning this hand. It's going to send up a red flag with one word printed on it. Cheater.
Julia saw the pit boss glance over at the table she was sitting at. She froze for a few seconds. Not so long in an ordinary situation, but in a fast game like blackjack it was too long. Too long for what Julia and the dealer were doing. The two other players sitting at the table were enjoying the escalating battle of the beauties. Julia the player versus Vicky the dealer. Two women in their late 30s, but outshining most of the women in the casino. Julia had hardly gambled at all in the past. Now she was gambling too much, and gambling with more than money.
Ma'am?
I'd like to split my aces.
Splitting aces here. Okay, then flip over your whole card and put an equal bet up.
Julia put another $5,000 bet into the white circle on the green felt. One more face card, Julia thought, now touching both hands together in sort of a spastic prayer. Vicky was wondering if her secret partner might fold under pressure and not follow the plan. She thought,
Some women just don't know how to grab and use an opportunity, but she'd better follow through with this.
the risk for the two of them was minimal. All that Julia had to do was, well, just play her cards right. Julia thought,
I should have kept walking when I bumped into Vicky the other day. But I guess it was just a matter of being vulnerable, because a man had just walked out on me.
7 days earlier, Julia was desperately trying to hold on to Robert Davis. Ruggedly built, Robert was almost as handsome as Julia was beautiful. Julia was small-framed with dark eyes and long brown hair. More than her looks, Robert loved Julia's cool, sweet, gentle voice. His favorite voice in all the world, he had said to her on more than one occasion. But he loved that voice while he was ordering room service from their private hot tub in Aspen. Loved it while she was moaning endearments with the Arc de Triomphe visible through their Paris hotel window. And most of all, Robert loved to see Julia's flawless face on the pillow of the Four Seasons in Maui. However, Julia's charms were losing their luster in Robert's eyes. At first, Julia thought it was their age difference that was making the problem. He was 26, she was almost 40, though she was often mistaken for 30. But no, Julia wasn't losing her luster at age 38. She was running out of the gold she had inherited from her parents. And it was the luster of that gold that Robert needed to stay interested in Julia. Finally, Robert told her about a so-called opportunity that had come up for him in Los Angeles, and now he was almost packed, ready to leave Julia's San Francisco condominium.
You know, you don't have to leave right away. You can stay here until you figure out what you want to do.
Well, actually, I've got a chance for work in Santa Monica. One of my friends has a little shop there, and I can crash with another friend there, so I've got a place to go.
Are you staying with a girl?
Just a friend, and I'm looking forward to seeing some sunshine. This constant fog here is starting to get to me. I mean, why did you have to choose a place so close to the beach?
You've always liked living here.
I did when we were just here on and off, but we've been here the whole month. It's starting to get to me.
Well, my situation has changed for the moment. I just need a few months of catch-up time financially. Time to get things rolling again.
Time to catch up? Oh, well, that's good. My being away will give you a chance to get that done without me hanging around and slowing you down.
Please stay a few more nights. I have some plans for us. I thought a trip to Lake Tahoe would be nice.
Tahoe? 4 hours away by car is not a trip. Staying at a casino with no loose cash to gamble would be a drag. I need a little more action than that. But I'll be back sometime.
Is it okay to call you?
Not for a while. But I'll check in with you to see how you're doing. You know. Hey, can I keep the watch? I kind of got attached to it.
Yes. It was for you to keep. Our 3-month anniversary of being together.
Has it been 3 months?
Closer to 6 now.
Well, I guess that does it. All I need for now.
Don't go today. I need you to stay. At least till the end of the month.
Oh, you don't want to do this, Julia.
Please.
Look, I told you. I can't miss this chance in Santa Monica. I've got to grab it now.
You know, one day soon we'll be back on a plane headed for someplace nice.
I know. But I just need this break. That's all.
Okay. I understand.
Good. If I lift anything, just hold it for me.
All right.
Take care.
I will.
Don't come outside. I'll just throw this in the trunk and take off fast. No sad goodbyes, huh?
All right. Be safe.
Sure. You too.
And with that, he was gone. Julia looked out the window to see Robert get in his car and drive off. The fog that Robert said he now hated was beginning to gather offshore of Julia's condo. It was built on the site of San Francisco's Playland at the Beach, the torn-down amusement park famous for the perpetually laughing lady. Laughing Sal, she was called, a 6-foot-tall, rotund mechanical doll standing on the balcony of the funhouse. Sal moved and laughed as she looked down at the park's visitors. Laughing Sal now resides at the Fisherman's Wharf Game Museum, where a couple of quarters will bring her back to life, to laugh again. Sometimes when sunbathing on her deck, when the wind was blowing right, Julia could faintly hear Sal's uncontrollable laugh. Julia wanted to laugh again, make love again to Robert on the deck of a chartered boat, but she knew it would take more than a few quarters to make that happen and bring her back to life. For the next 3 days, Julia got to work juggling her various bank accounts, reluctantly raiding her safe deposit box and selling some of her few remaining gold and platinum coins to pay her $1,700 a month mortgage. Whatever she planned to do, Julie had only 3 months to do it, because according to her calculations, that's when the coins would run out. No more inherited paintings to sell, no more jewelry to pawn, no more bonds to cash in. Soon her condominium would be at risk. She was far away from Social Security, and unemployment compensation was out of the question, as the only long-term job she had held was working at the laundry section of the Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla, California. Her incarceration had not been because of bank robbery, but she was now considering knocking off the Citibank she was just walking past. She was on her way to her favorite bakery located on Fisherman's Wharf. Maybe a few fresh loaves for her meals would cheer her up, make her forget about Robert for a while. Suddenly, she heard a familiar sound as she got nearer to the Bowden Bakery. Ah, yes, it was Laughing Sal across the street at the Game Museum. Someone had put in 2 quarters to start her up.
One day, I'll be laughing again, just like her.
As she was about to cross the street to the bakery, a voice called out to her.
Julia? Hey, Julia, is that you?
What?
It's me, Vicky Hawkins.
Vicky? Vicky from high school?
The Monterey Condors, go team.
How did you recognize me?
Well, the class reunion.
That's maybe 15 years ago.
You look the same as then.
You too.
Well, maybe not, but thanks for saying.
Sure you do.
Thanks. So, what are you doing here?
I was just going over there to the bakery.
Are you up from Monterey?
I haven't lived there since high school, but I go for a visit sometimes. I live here now. on the Coast Highway, down from the Cliff House.
Sounds nice.
It is. I can walk on the beach anytime I feel like it. Where do you live?
I'm living in Las Vegas.
Oh, that must be fun.
Well, I guess so. But visiting there is one thing, and living there is something else. Except for the Strip. It's just another town. A town that's too hot and too cold.
Are you here with anyone?
No, I'm here alone, just getting away for a few days. It's hot as hell in Vegas right now.
Where are you staying?
Down there at the Holiday Inn.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, nice and cool here by the bay.
For how long?
Just a few more days, then it's back to work.
Well, this is great. I can't believe it. If I hadn't felt like sourdough bread today, we wouldn't have met.
So, do you want to get off our feet and get a drink?
Sure. Let's see. How about some Irish coffee right up there at the Buena Vista?
I can taste it now. Let's go. I'm buying.
You're on.
The Buena Vista Bar, famous for its Irish coffee in view of the cable car turntable, was almost full. But Vicky spotted a window seat and headed for it while Julia ordered the Irish coffees at the bar. By the time Vicky watched one cable car being turned around for its return trip to Market Street, Julia was there with 2 steaming glass mugs of Irish coffee.
Here we go.
This is great. Right by the window. A water view instead of a desert view.
Well, okay. Let's toast to the water.
And to us meeting.
So, tell me more about living in Las Vegas. You said it's not so exciting for you.
For the tourists, maybe it is. But for us workers, it's just a daily grind like anywhere else.
What do you do?
Blackjack dealer.
From cheerleader to blackjack dealer, huh?
That's about it, with a few twists and turns in between.
We've all got those in our lives.
I've had too many twists and not enough turns.
Meaning?
Another couple of years and I'm 40.
I don't like it either.
And here I am, dealing cards to non-tipping, cigar-smoking jerks who spill their comp drinks on the table and laugh about it.
Occupational hazard, I guess?
Oh, when I think about the dreams I had in high school. Now look at me.
With your looks, I thought you'd be married to some rich guy by now.
I was, twice, almost 3 times. Sure, they pay your way while you're with them, but you never get any real money into your hands.
What about divorce settlements?
Oh, sure. First, they have you sign prenuptial agreements. And second, those rich guys know how to hide things in secret bank accounts. So you come out with a few grand, and when that's gone, it's back to the card tables and the smoke. You know, in the roulette game of life, men are the rake.
I guess.
How about you? Ever been married?
No, not even close to it. Actually, I never wanted marriage.
Have you got something against men?
Just the opposite. I love men. That's my problem. And as I get older, the men seem to get younger, and the relationships get shorter.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I've seen it. But don't let yourself fall into that.
I'm trying hard not to.
The problem with younger men is that they usually don't have any money, so they're looking for a free ride. In more ways than one.
You've hit the nail on the head there.
How are you fixed for money?
I inherited some money from my family, but most of that's gone, and I'm going to have to do some thinking, or I'm going to lose my condo. On top of that, I just had a guy walk out on me because I'm trying to economize.
Bastard. All of them. Bastards.
Well, not Robert. That's his name. He's just, well, he's 26 and, I guess I was lucky to have him for a while.
You're too easygoing, Julia. Any bastard that walks out on you because you can't buy him gold cufflinks or some other trinket deserves to be castrated.
That sounds a little drastic.
Well, yeah, I guess that would defeat the whole purpose of having him around in the first place, wouldn't it?
Besides, Robert will probably come back.
If he does, you should tell him to get permanently lost. That should be your new rule. A bastard runs out on you and comes back, you tell him to get permanently lost.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm really hooked on Robert. He's special.
Oh, Julia. I'm drinking here with a hopeless romantic in a cafe just loaded with men.
Loaded with men, and no one's given us more than a second glance. Maybe we're losing our sex appeal.
You sure haven't, honey. And I know that I sure the hell haven't. So what do you say? Let's see how much damage we can do in here.
Damage?
Sure. Let's see how many of these guys' lives we can destroy.
You're too much, Vicky. Same as high school. I wish we had gotten together sooner.
Yeah, me too. Where have you been all these years?
Mostly the Bay Area. A little while in Santa Barbara, and then a while back. I had a little trouble and did some state time, then back to San Francisco.
Whoa, state time? You mean jail?
Prison.
Oh my God, Julia! Whatever for?
Trouble with some guy, my boyfriend, and I ended up in the can. Then I had some trouble in there, so I got an extra year. 6 years total.
6 years? Oh dear.
Yeah. I went in when I was 26, got out when I was 32. I worked a couple of jobs for a couple of years, lived with a couple of guys on and off. Then I inherited my parents' money, put a down payment on my condo with cash to spare. After that, I lived a high life for about 4 years. Now I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my condo to the bank if I...
First time here at the Buena Vista?
Oh, hello. No, I've been here before.
Hit the road, jerk. Can't you see we're talking?
Yeah, sure. Jesus, too many lesbians in this town.
God, Vicky. I thought you wanted to destroy some men's lives.
Sure. I just destroyed that jerk's life. He'll probably go home and cry.
Yeah, the poor guy.
Ah, screw him. Screw 'em all.
So, when did you say that you're going back to Las Vegas?
In a couple of days. 2 days.
Did you drive here?
No. To hell with driving that desert. And San Francisco's too far to drive. I flew in.
Say, I have an idea. If you don't have any definite plans, why not stay at my place for the next 2 days? You might as well use it while I have it and save on your hotel bill.
That sounds pretty good.
Sure. The ocean is nice there. The Cliff House is nearby and we can take a drive to Santa Cruz and Monterey, and I'll drive you to the airport when you fly back.
Then I insist you let me give you my 2 days hotel fee.
No, nothing doing.
Well, okay. You know, speaking of my motel fees and your condo and all, I might have an idea about it.
What do you mean?
About keeping your condo, not losing it to the bank.
Well, right about now, I'm open to anything.
You might not like this idea, but let me run it by you.
Sounds intriguing.
Over the years, I've gotten pretty good dealing cards. And I've learned a few tricks, like how to deal seconds.
Dealing the second card on the deck?
Smart girl. That's it. Let me show you something. Here, hand me my purse.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know about this.
And move your mug over a little, honey.
You always carry a deck of cards with you?
When people hear I'm a dealer, they usually want a quick game. Besides, I have to stay in practice. Okay, look. The ace of spades is on top, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I deal you a couple of cards off the top. And now look. The ace of spades is still on the top.
That's good. I didn't see anything.
Right, you weren't supposed to. Okay, now watch the deck again very carefully. Ace on top. Now I'll deal out 5 cards. See anything?
No.
See? The ace of spades is still on the top. All 5 of those cards were seconds.
That is good.
And I'm getting good at manipulating any cards I want into the right position on the deck. In fact, I'm damned good at it.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Are you suggesting?
Just hold on. Now I'll put the ace of spades face up. Watch closely. See? The second card is out with the ace still on top. Did you see anything unusual?
No, you're pretty good. But should you be doing that here with all these people? You should put the cards away.
Here isn't the problem. We aren't gabbling here. There's no 2,000 cameras here, so don't worry about the jerks who might be watching us right now, for Christ's sakes.
So, 2,000 cameras in your casino? Is there really that many?
Yes, and they keep installing more.
Thinking about those cameras, I don't think I could do what you're leading up to.
And what am I leading up to?
You want me to go to Vegas, play blackjack at your table, and deal me special cards.
What a smart girl. Right, that's it.
But don't they use that, what's it called, card machine?
The shoe. Most of the tables have them, except for the high limits at the MGM. The single decks make the suckers think they can count cards and beat the house. The high limit keeps the real card counters away because the swings cost them too much money and they can't handle it. And besides, we shuffle the deck every couple of hands to discourage the counting. Yet, the suckers still come, attracted to that single deck. They think they can remember some of the cards and win, but they can't, and usually lose their wad.
But you're saying we can win?
I'm saying we will win, but we don't get greedy. I deal you a special card here and there to get us up to, say, 50 grand. And then you lose a hand or two to make it look like your luck has changed. And then you quit. The problem with cheaters is they win too much. The pit bosses get suspicious, and they get caught.
Oh my God. You're serious, aren't you?
Serious as a train wreck. You need some extra dough, and so do I. I'm not talking big money, just enough to get us over the hump and get a fresh start.
A fresh start sounds good. Good for sure.
So, what do you say to splitting around $50,000?
25,000 each?
Right down the damn middle.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
What's to think about?
They watch those tables pretty good. Won't my large bets look suspicious?
We'll do it on a Saturday night. All the high rollers are betting 10 grand on 3 hands at a time. Your smaller single bets won't even raise the pit boss's eyebrows.
If we really do this, and I think I won't, but if we do, it would be for one time only. One time for me. I mean it.
Look, let's not decide now. We've got a couple of days. Your condo sounds great. Let's talk there. We'll practice our strategy, get it down pat, and then decide.
All right. We can talk about it.
And practice.
Sure. It beats...
It beats what?
Oh, it beats thinking about Robert. Wondering what he's doing and who he's doing it with.
Don't worry about him for now. After we pull this thing off, you can have 3 or 4 new Roberts.
It's just him I want. And I can lure him back by telling him we'll take a trip somewhere when I get the cash. If I do this thing.
A trip, a silk shirt, weird sex, whatever works.
Yes, whatever I have to do. I just want Robert back. That's all.
Well, if he's what you want, then 25 grand should do it.
Say, what about the starter money? I mean, to start gambling with?
Well, I hate to have to say it. That's where you would come in. I just have a rental apartment and a few bucks in my checking account. Can you come up with, say, 5 grand?
Oh, well, yeah, I can do that. If we go ahead with this crazy thing.
Right. If.
Wow. Just the thought of cheating at cards under those casino cameras makes my stomach tingle.
It hits me a little lower. You know what I mean? I've done this before, and when you're actually doing it, it's better than men.
I doubt that.
Trust me, Julia. When you're there with a stack of chips in front of you, and you know that I have to deal the next card as a second with the pit boss standing over me, you feel like you're getting off in your honeymoon bed. Why do you think rich women shoplift? It's not for the free undies.
Oh, Vicky. Now it's all coming back to me. All your wild antics in high school. You haven't changed.
No, I haven't. Only now my wild antics are perfected.
Perfected or not, this scheme is a little too dangerous. And I've had enough of...
Prison?
Exactly.
Never happen. You saw how I handle these cards? You just stick to the plan, quit around 50 grand, we split it, and you fly home.
If I go, I'll drive there. I hate flying.
That's a long, lonely drive.
It'll give me time to think about it all.
Just think about what you can do with 25 grand.
It's not a lot of money, but it sure would take the pressure off so that I could figure out my next step.
It's funny how money does exactly that. Release the pressure.
Amen.
It would take Julia 11 hours to get from San Francisco to Las Vegas driving her 5-year-old Jaguar. On the passenger seat was her purse carrying $5,000 in starter money that she had withdrawn from her dwindling checking account. Vicky had advised Julia that penalties for cheating in a Las Vegas casino meant immediate arrest, being charged with theft and probable jail time. But if the two of them concentrated on their scam and didn't get greedy, their risk of being caught was low. Sundown gave Julia 2 more hours of driving in the moonless desert darkness. As she drove, she fantasized about the phone call she would make to Robert once her scam with Vicky was a success and she got her share of the money.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Robert? It's me.
Oh, hi, Julia.
I have some good news.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. What is it?
Well, I was able to make a few financial moves, and now I'm pretty solvent. So I left a plane ticket for you at LAX to fly to Maui to meet me.
Really? How did you do that?
Oh, I just got some dividends on some stock that I forgot I had.
Well, that was lucky.
So, are you up for a week of sun, sand, and sex?
Maui, huh? The Sheraton?
No, not this time. This time it's the 4 Seasons.
Oh, baby. You know how to treat a guy.
I'll be waiting in bed for you when you arrive.
With a bottle of Dom Perignon next to you?
Just the way you like me.
Sounds fantastic. I love you, Julia.
For 1 count of attempted casino fraud, the state of Nevada sentences you to 3 years at the Florence McClure Women's Correctional Center.
Julia quickly turned the wheel to get back into her lane. Nearly hitting the oncoming truck shocked her out of her fantasies. She took a deep breath and then forced her mind to concentrate on the goal at hand, which was to get to Las Vegas, win the money, and then get Robert back into her bed. Finally, the light beam shining from the top of the Luxor pyramid-shaped casino was visible in the sky. Touted as the strongest light beam in the world and viewable by pilots taking off from Los Angeles, it beckoned her, perhaps like Captain Ahab beckoning his crew to chase Moby Dick to their doom. Soon the colorful lights of the Las Vegas Strip came into view, melting the fearful images of incarceration that had been plaguing Julia on her drive. 30 minutes later, she was excited as she got off the freeway and drove down the Las Vegas Strip. Soon she was driving past the MGM Casino's Golden Lion that was no longer devouring customers as they entered. Previously, customers entered the casino by going through the giant lion's mouth. However, Chinese gamblers considered walking through the lion's mouth bad luck, so it was changed to a 45-foot-tall golden statue sitting in front of the casino. Still, Leo the lion looked very foreboding as Julia drove past him. She figured that tomorrow night she would either get a piece of his gold or be torn apart by his claws. Julia's Magellan Navigator system took her 5 miles away from the glitter of the Strip to a darkly lit downtown street that was lined with large maple trees and low-rent apartments that had seen better days.
You have arrived.
Yeah, I hope so.
Julia parked on the street but hesitated getting out of the car. She sat there staring at Vicky's apartment thinking,
Is this as far as Vicky has gotten in life at age 38? A beautiful woman living here and having to deal blackjack for a living?
Vicky had told Julia about the mistakes she had made in life, the bad men, the lost opportunities, the bad choices. It was no wonder she was willing to take a chance for a mere $25,000. Of course, Julia would be taking the same risk as Vicky, but Julia was trying to maintain her lifestyle while Vicky was trying to escape hers. She wished Vicky hadn't talked her out of staying at a hotel near the MGM and instead talked her into staying with her. At least her car would have been safer at a hotel, not to mention she would be safer as well. She grabbed her purse and overnight bag, walked across the dark tree-covered street, entered the apartment building, and rang Vicky's doorbell.
Okay, there you are. Come on in.
Thank you. It's good to get off the road.
Took you long enough.
I stopped to eat and just drove the speed limit.
Well, good. No sense getting a ticket on the way to a crime.
I wish you wouldn't put it that way.
Sorry, you're right. It's bad luck. Just leave your bag there for now. Shall we have a celebration drink?
Sure, but shouldn't we celebrate after we pull this thing off?
We will pull it off. So this will be a pre-celebration drink. Scotch and water, okay?
Sounds good.
Forgive the place. Not quite as nice as yours, and we're short on ocean views here in Vegas.
Do you plan to move once you get the money?
I've got my eye on a nice apartment complex up near the Strip. I'll just rent it and see what happens from there.
What would you like to do after that?
Oh, I don't know. I just want to get this first step done with before I start thinking about the next.
First step? You mean our gambling?
Well, it won't be gambling. Can't call it gambling with me giving you help.
Still, it's gambling of a sort. I mean, we might get caught.
Well, let's not think about that. Here you go.
Thank you.
It'll all go smoothly, I promise you.
Well, you must have some idea of what you want to do after you move.
It's not so much what I'd like to do. It's what I can do, and I can't do much with 25 grand. But if we make the right choices with the new shot of cash, it can lead to something bigger and better.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
So, one bedroom I see? Is this my sofa?
Don't be ridiculous. We'll share my bed. You don't mind, do you?
No.
Like one strawberry said to the other, if we hadn't been in the same bed together, we wouldn't be in this jam.
Where did you get that joke?
I dated a lounge act comedian once, unfortunately. You know the type. I've got 1 million of them.
Yes, I do know the type.
Unfortunately. Well, it's getting on to midnight. Let's drink up and hit the hay.
Yes, I'm ready for it.
I'll hit the shower, then you. I'll just be a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll leave this lamp on, so just turn it off when you come to bed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, meet you in the hay.
Right. The same jam.
The next morning, Julie and Vicky practiced their blackjack scam a few more times and then had lunch at a nearby Fremont Street casino. After that, Vicky drove to work for her 2 to 10 p.m. shift at the MGM. 9 p.m. was chosen by Vicky as the best time to make their play so they could both leave the casino around the same time that night. Vicky by car, Julia by taxi. Julia figured that Vicky also chose that time so she, Julia, wouldn't be alone with all that cash for too long and get some selfish thoughts, like taking off with it. Vicky knew how desperate Julia was about money, so she probably didn't want to take any chances on being cut out of her share. It was 9:10 p.m. when the taxi let Julia off at the side door of the MGM, which looked like a giant green monster ready to eat her up and spit her back to prison. As she entered the casino, the noise and the smell of smoke brought back the reality of the risk she was about to take into focus. She clung tightly to her purse, which held the $5,000 starter money. The place was packed with Saturday night gamblers, just as Vicky had said it would be. Looking around for Vicky's blackjack table, Julia started thinking about taking a taxi back to her car and driving away from this crowded, suffocating madhouse and back to the fresh air of the ocean. But she needed the extra money, and Vicky was depending on her. Dealing at her blackjack table, Vicky was worried and nervous and then angry because Julia was 15 minutes late. They'd eaten most of Vicky's 1-hour shift to make the $50,000. Vicky had done this before, dealing seconds to a partner, but never for so much money. Vicky's palms were starting to sweat, not a good thing for manipulating cards. Vicky's mind called out,
Where the hell is she? Has that bitch chickened out?
Weaving through the crowd, Julia saw Vicky's blackjack table with 2 open chairs. Ah, a sign of good luck, an available chair. Julia slowly walked over to the table. She and Vicky had rehearsed the upcoming play 20 times at Julia's condo, but as she sat down, Julia's mind struggled to remember what her first move was. Fortunately, her subconscious took over for the moment and had her pull out the $5,000 in cash from her purse.
Change for $5,000, please.
Vicky barely acknowledged Julia, treating her just like another player. She took Julia's stack of $100 bills and called out to the pit boss.
Changing 5,000.
Vicky counted the cash under the eye of the pit boss and then counted out 4 purple $500 chips and then 30 black $100 chips. She placed them in front of Julia. Then Vicky slipped Julia's money into the cash slot. As she saw the plastic plunger push it down, Julia thought,
Bye-bye, cash. Well, I'm in it now. Up to my neck with no turning back.
Julia, as per Vicky's plan, pushed 3 black chips into her bet circle.
Start off modestly, like Vicky told me. Get comfortable. Order a drink and talk to the other players to show you're just another Saturday night gambler.
Vicky wasn't going to deal Julia any special cards until she got further along in her play and increased the size of her bets. And maybe Julia might have some natural luck and not need any help at all. Of course, Vicky could feed herself a large card and break herself when the right time came. Vicky saw that Julia looked fairly relaxed, but once in a while Vicky could see in Julia's eyes that she might give up and cash out once the play got heavy and the heat was turned up. Vicky thought,
Steady, girl. Hang in there. This is going to work.
When Julia won the first 2 hands of $300 bets, she didn't know if it was luck or if Vicky was feeding her cards. But Vicky had said that she wouldn't start dealing seconds until later. Julia was now $600 ahead. $600 in 2 minutes. Julia thought,
Not a bad way to make a living.
The drink hostess came around, so Julia ordered a scotch and soda. She made a few remarks to the woman who was playing next to her, lost her next $300 bet, and won the next 2 bets, which put her $900 ahead. She had, up to this time, avoided eye contact with Vicky, just as she had been instructed to do. She stuck with the same 3 black chip bets until her drink came. Then she lost a few and then won a few more. Counting her profit stack, Julia was now 12 black chips to the good. Vicky had told her that when her drink arrived, it would be a good time to go to the $500 purple chips, a mere $200 increase, but as she pushed the 1 purple chip into the circle, Julia's tension doubled. Vicky started dealing seconds on this first purple bet, but not to Julia. Instead, Vicky broke herself with a queen and paid everybody off. Because the casino was packed, the pit bosses were running around handling various transactions at the other tables, and since Vicky's table wasn't having any heavy action, she barely got a glance from either of her bosses. However, the eye in the sky was recording every move the two of them made for future scrutiny if anything suspicious happened. Julia wasn't used to this kind of pressure. She had never been involved in anything illegal, unless you'd consider giving a bastard what he deserved 10 years ago illegal. At any rate, the police and the judge did consider it illegal, the victim being a bastard or not. But other than that, she was never involved in any type of subterfuge. Well, there had been a couple of married men, but that was their subterfuge, not hers. The blackjack play continued. Julia had no idea when Vicky would be dealing her special cards, or dealing breaking cards to herself. But by the time she finished her drink, she was nearly $3,000 ahead. The woman playing next to her called it a night, leaving her seat open, giving Julia a little more elbow room. As Vicky had taught her, Julia counted and recounted her chips as she played, to act like she was incisive about continuing to gamble or not. Cheaters invariably sat at the tables focused and determined. An incisive gambler drew less attention. Soon Julia had 25 purple chips in front of her, totaling $12,500, plus many extra black chips. She increased her bet to 3 purple chips. The real game was now on. Vicky had told Julia that once she increased her bet to purple chips, never go back to black chips, because erratic bet amounts that won on the big bets and lost on the small bets was the first telltale sign that a player might be rigging the game. Vicky was pleased that her partner in crime was performing well and was following what they had practiced perfectly. And the funny thing was that Vicky didn't have to give much help. A face card a couple of times to get her nearer to 21, a low card once to keep her from breaking, and Vicky dealt herself a couple of paints, as she called face cards, to break herself. So far, nothing they did looked suspicious. So everything was cool with no pain-in-the-ass pit boss or shift manager looking over Vicky's shoulder. But as Julia's chips increased, nearing a profit of 20 grand, Vicky knew that the pit boss and the manager would indeed start hovering, and that the camera lenses would start zooming. Julia saw her chip stake building, but instead of feeling pressure to protect it, or that she might get caught, she was feeling something she hadn't felt since Robert had walked out on her. She felt comfortable. Now she started imagining what she'd do with her share of the winnings. Get ahead on her condo payments, pay off a couple of credit cards, get in touch with Robert somehow and say,
Hey, Robert? It's me, Julia. How about a hotel bed with a view of Diamond Head? And me.
She was really getting excited. And then some cigar-smoking jerk with his collar folded outside of his loud checkered jacket sat down beside her.
Hey, looks like you're doing pretty good. The table still hot?
It's not been bad.
Change me 100, will you, babe? Give me 4 lucky greens. So, not bad, you say, huh? You got a good-sized stack there.
Well, so far so good.
Deal 'em up, babe. I'm feeling hot. Here's 25. Let's see if you can take it away from me. How about you? Are you feeling hot?
Well, lucky so far.
You live here?
No, I'm from Los Angeles.
I get there sometimes. Maybe I'll look you up. Or down. Ha! Got an address or phone number or something?
Julia wanted to ignore his remark, but quickly figured this jerk might make her seem all the more a real paying customer in the eyes of the casino managers. So she answered back as she placed her cards under her bet.
I'm sorry? I can't meet you. I'm not free.
Well, of course you aren't. I'm used to paying.
I'm not available.
Yeah, I get it. Come on, dealer. Bust. Ha! Busted. Come to Papa. A nice little green chip for my efforts.
However, the man's $25 bets barely lasted him 10 minutes as he started taking hits instead of standing pat. By the time he lost his 4 greens, Julia was up 12 more purples.
Well, hell, how about taking a break and having a drink with me at the bar? Play some Keno or something?
No, thank you. I'm going to stick with this for a while.
Your loss, babe. See you around.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Glancing at her watch, Julia knew that it was about time for her serious play to begin. It would start when Vicky dealt her an 8 and a 3. But those cards didn't come up in the next 2 hands, both of which she lost. Looking quickly into Vicky's eyes, Julia saw her blink twice. Julia knew it meant it was time to increase her bets to 5 purple chips at $500 each. The table limit was $5,000, so this bet of half that hopefully wouldn't draw much attention. As she dealt the cards, Vicky thought,
Good girl, Julia. You caught my signal. Don't fold up on me now, girl.
now was the time for Julia to have a little more luck than probability dictated and get her chips nearer the $50,000 mark. Vicky quickly dried her fingertips on the felt table after shuffling. Then she dealt a second to Julia with the ease of a Mississippi riverboat card sharp, smooth, undetectable by the human or camera eye. Lifting her cards, Julia spied the 8 of hearts and the 3 of diamonds. Then she got the go signal from Vicky, another blink of her eyes. Suddenly the cool left Julia. Her dreams of Robert betting her in Hawaii went out the window, a window that had bars on it. Hell, O.J. Simpson was doing time just 30 miles up the road from Vegas. Not doing time for murder, but doing time for being stupid. And stupid is what Julia now figured she was doing. If she was caught cheating, the judge wouldn't put her in O.J.'s prison, but he would stick her right near there in North Las Vegas at the Florence McClure's Women's Correctional Institute. She knew a woman who had been transferred from there, a country club she had called it. But how could any incarceration situation in a desert be a country club? She loved her San Francisco ocean view. She was gambling to keep her ocean view. But maybe now it would be substituted for a desert view. Maybe she'd be able to see the Las Vegas lights from the confines of her prison cell. Then she thought,
Oh, hell. Get a hold of yourself. I can do this. I can finish this. My cards total 11. I have to double down. Yes, double down.
Vicky was showing a 4, typically a bad card for the dealer, and the right time for a player to double their bet and take one more card. Julia finally snapped out of her stupor and placed 5 more purple chips next to her original 5 purple chip bet.
I'd like to double down, please.
A 10 or a face card will put Julia at 21, and unless the dealer lucked into another 21, Julia would win $5,000, let alone keep her $5,000 bet. Julia knew that she shouldn't be nervous because it was all planned that Vicky would deal her a paint. But she was nervous because winning meant that she would let it ride and start making maximum bets so that the eyes of Vegas would be upon her.
God, I hope they don't have community dances between OJ's prison and mine.
Julia's attempt at humorous thoughts did nothing to stop the fear that was running up her spine. As for Vicky, she felt a tightness in her stomach and a liquid warmth coming over her. It happened every time her cheating got serious, a scary and excited feeling both happening at the same time. Right there, she promised herself,
Oh, God. If I pull off this scam, I swear, the next time, instead of cheating in a casino, I'll go naked skydiving. There'd be less risk for the same feeling.
So now it was time for Vicky to deal Julia her winning paint. She felt just the 3mm edge of the second card beneath the first, knew it was a paint, and slid it out beautifully to her beautiful partner's 11, giving Julia a 21. But Vicky wasn't going to deal a special card to herself. She couldn't chance it. Instead, she thought a quick prayer.
God, give me a break. And break me.
Vicky turned over her whole card, a jack, giving her 14.
Please, not a 7. Anything but a 7.
She flipped over the top card and placed it next to her 2 cards. It was the 9 of hearts.
23. Busted. Beautiful.
Vicky paid off the other players and then paid Julia's $10,000 bet, which put her over $23,000 to the good.
Okay, my beauty. We're almost halfway there. Keep your cool for a few more hands, and then head for the cage with 50 grand.
Next, Julia put $5,000 in the bet circle, got the cards, took a hit, and busted. Then she won the next 3 in a row, putting her over $33,000 in profit. The pit boss, who had been cruising past the table before, was now starting to circle in on it. That was to be expected with Julia's maximum bet and her chips starting to make an impressive stack. By chance, her next hand gave her an ace and a queen, blackjack, an automatic win. But at single-deck tables, the payout was an even 1-to-1, not the usual 3-to-2. When Julia saw the blackjack, she thought she had won $7.5 grand, but Vicky just paid her 10 purple chips worth $5,000 with a straight face. Julia figured,
I guess Vicky knows what she's doing, so I won't say anything. What the hell? Nothing wrong with a $5,000 win. Let's see. I'm ahead nearly $40,000 and no problems yet. But that gorilla of a pit boss is coming around the table more often. Is he checking my chips or checking me out? I hope it's my body he's interested in and not my winning streak.
Vicky, however, wasn't sweating out the pit boss too much because if all went right, this upcoming hand would be the last. However, dealing out double aces was going to take all her skill and nerve. She felt like she had 2 men's hands on her, one pair caressing, one pair handcuffing. Vicky thought,
Oh well, no stopping now. Here it goes.
Vicky tightened her hand on the deck of cards. She dealt out the first cards to the player on the left, and then with fingers of Lance Burton down the street, she dealt the first ace to Julia and knew it was magic. Back to the player on the left, then the second ace snapping out of the second place in the deck. Vicky almost shuddered to euphoria on that one. She then secretly positioned 2 face cards ready to do her bidding after Julia made her play. While the other 2 players took a hit, Vicky glanced over at Julia. She was looking at her cards, and Vicky could tell by her face that Julia wasn't going to go for it, because her face reeked with fear. Vicky was right, because when Julia saw the 2 aces as she and Vicky had practiced so many times, she felt the eye in the sky zoom in on her and saw the pit boss glance over at her from one of the other tables.
I can't win this hand. Not with that guy watching me. It's going to send up a red flag with one word printed on it. Cheater.
God damn you, Julia. What the hell are you doing? You've got aces. Perfectly dealt aces. No one's on to us. Split 'em, you bitch. Split 'em. Ma'am?
Huh?
Hit or stand.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to split my 2 cards.
Okay. Then flip over your whole card and put an equal bet up. Splitting aces here.
The pit boss moved over from the center ring of tables to check out Julia's play with her double aces. The shift boss turned his attention there too. Julia put another $5,000 bet into the circle. Vicky dealt out another card to Julia. It was a jack. She placed it by one of the aces. Then Vicky dealt out another card and placed it next to the second ace. It was a red king.
Oh, double blackjack. I can't believe it.
The other players gave their congratulations as Vicky placed a stack of purple chips next to each of Julia's bets. A $10,000 profit on that play alone. Julia now had a total of $48,000 in chips. The pit boss, satisfied, walked away to a table where a bunch of businessmen were all betting the limit and winning. Julia pulled back her 4 stacks of chips and placed them next to her holdings. Then, without thinking, put another stack of 10 purples into the betting circle, another $5,000 bet. Julia suddenly realized what she had done. Vicky had told her that the double aces would be the end of their play. Julia knew that, but the excitement of her big win made her go into automatic mode and place another $5,000 bet. Once Julia realized what she had done, she quickly thought about taking it back, but she knew that would be the wrong move. so she just sat there and waited for the incredulous Vicky to deal the next hand. Vicky couldn't believe it. She had gone over this 20 times with Julia, split the aces, win, and then cash out.
What's Julia doing with this new bet? Is she getting greedy, or is she just playing stupid? Oh well, I guess she got caught up in the rhythm of the action and bet again without thinking. Okay, win or lose the next hand fairly, and it'll be okay. We have enough either way. No more feeding cards. Let the next hand do what it wants, and then let Julia cash out. I get off my shift and meet her at the apartment for the split up.
What could Vicky do but deal out the cards straight from now on? She dealt Julia a 20. Vicky got a 17. She paid her off. Julia pulled back her $5,000 winnings and left the $5,000 bet in the circle. Vicky thought,
What the hell is this? What is she doing? Has she gone insane? Is she trying to screw me? Get us both locked up? This is my job, my town, my table. I should reach over and slap her back to reality.
Vicky couldn't do that, couldn't do anything, so she just looked down at the deck and shuffled. When Julia won that last bet honestly, she thought,
What the hell? Maybe I'm having a little luck. And every $5,000 is a couple of condo payments and a nice trip with Robert. So why not pad the $48,000? I'm only going to get half of it. Why not see what the cards have in store for me? I know that win or lose, Vicky will be angry at me, so why not take a few more chances for a lot more money?
but Vicky was thinking,
Lose. You bitch, if you keep winning, it's going to look like I'm dealing you cards, and I'm not.
On the next hand, Julia stood on 13 and Vicky busted. Vicky put another stack of chips next to Julia's bed and purposely tipped them over.
Sorry about that, ma'am.
That's okay.
Julia pulled back her winnings and left her $5,000 bet in the circle. Vicky dealt out the cards. Julia got a 19. Vicky was forced to stand on 17. With that payoff, Julia now had $63,000. As Vicky shuffled the deck again with fingers that wanted to find Julia's throat, she felt a tap on her shoulder. It was her relief dealer. Well, that was a reprieve of some sort, Vicky figured. No one could accuse her of dealing seconds when she wasn't dealing. Vicky clapped her hands, just giving a hint of angry stare to Julia. But Julia showed no reaction to it. As Vicky left the table, Julia thought,
What's she so hot about? I just want to see how the cards play out. See if the cards are with me. I'm winning, and when I lose a hand, I'll quit. So what's the harm?
Walking toward the dealer's rest area, Vicky took a quick backward look at Julia, thinking,
What the hell is that bitch doing? Without me dealing to her, she'll probably lose it all back. Oh, the hell with it. Nothing to do now but change, drive back home, and see if she shows up with any money at all.
The new dealer for Julia's table was a middle-aged man who gave a perfunctory greeting to the players, ran his eyes over Julia's face, neck, and arms, and then shuffled the cards. He dealt Julia 16, which she stood on. She now knew that letting the dealer break could be a good strategy for a beginner. The dealer did break, making her stack of chips a total of $68,000 to the good. On the next hand, Julia stood again. The dealer busted. Now Julia had $73,000 to split with Vicky, assuming Vicky wouldn't split her head when this was over for not quitting when she should have. Julia had sensed that just under Vicky's happy-go-lucky demeanor lay an explosive temper. She had seen women like Vicky in prison and read that possible explosion in Vicky's eyes. Julia was dealt 2 tens, a good chance of winning, she figured. But since she was now gambling for real and winning for real, what would happen if she split them? The dealer was showing a 5. That was kind of a bad card for him. If he had a face card or a 10, he'd have to hit it, and a large card would break him. Of course, if the dealer beat her, that would be $10,000 down the tube. But since Julia was ahead more than she had planned on being, she thought she'd take another chance. Julia turned over her 2 tens and put another $5,000 bet in the circle. She was dealt a 9 and an 8, giving her 2 hands at 19 and 18. Not bad, but not so good either. The dealer turned over his hold card, a 6, giving him an 11. His next card was a 3, and then he dealt himself a 9. 23, busted. That was 10 grand more to Julia. Then she thought,
Enough of this. Enough. It's over.
Julia now had $83,000 profit, plus the $5,000 she had started with. The $5,000 would go back to her, leaving her $41,500 apiece to split with her and Vicky. That is, if she could cash in her chips and walk out of the casino without any trouble. Under the eye of the pit boss, the dealer colored up Julia's purple chips to the pumpkin-colored chips valued at $1,000 each. He placed them in a rack and slid the 88 pumpkins and 3 blacks over to Julia. She thanked the dealer, picked up the chips, and then froze. Julia remembered that she should tip the dealer. Vicky never mentioned that, probably because it was obvious to do so. Julia slowly turned, set the rack of chips down on the table, picked up 3 black chips and placed them on the table.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then she picked up the rack, turned, and walked away, looking for where the cage might be to cash out and get the hell out.
To hell with Vicky's plan. Her plan of me playing roulette and having a drink to show whoever might be watching that I'm just another player? I'm done with this place.
With all the tall slot machines blocking Julia's view, the cage wasn't in sight. She began to walk anywhere that would put distance between her and the scene of the crime. To her left at the bar, she saw the jerk of a man who had sat next to her for a while at the blackjack table. She didn't need some creep to be hitting on her as she made her escape, but he was hunched over a drink, not paying attention to the casino area.
Good. He didn't see me. One less obstacle to deal with.
Finally, she saw the bars of the cage come into view. She headed for it, holding her chip tray tightly near her stomach with both hands. A friendly-looking lady whose window was open waved her over.
Good evening.
Hello?
Looks like you've had a bit of luck.
Yes, I did. For once, anyway.
Good for you. Okay, let's see. You've got $88,000 exactly.
Yes, I think so.
You really did do good.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was fun. I did okay.
It looks like you did a lot better than just okay.
What?
Good evening, I'm Anthony Liu, casino manager.
Would you like all hundreds?
Oh, yes, please.
You know, that's a lot of money to be counted out here. I think it might be a good idea to pay it off in my office. It's safer there. After that, I can arrange for some security when you leave the casino.
Oh, I'm okay.
Are you alone?
Well, I'm here alone tonight.
In that case, we'll take care of you. Just count it out, have it signed for, and bring it to my office.
Yes, sir.
Would you prefer a check, miss?
No, cash is all right.
Fine, come this way.
Sure.
You know, on Saturday night, we have to beef up security for our customers. It's just a service we provide. My office is right over here.
It's not necessary to...
It'll just take a few minutes to get your money. Please, come in. Would you like a drink or coffee?
I think I drank enough at the blackjack table. But some water would be nice.
Sure thing, no problem.
Look, mister.
I'm Anthony Liu. And may I know your name?
It's Julia Rivera. Look, I won't be needing security, I don't think.
Well, this is just a formality. Verifying the win, getting some comps, perhaps a room.
Verifying the win?
Betty, could you have some water in my coffee for me?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure you don't want any coffee?
Well, yes, if you're having some.
Cream or sugar?
With some cream, please?
Come right on in.
As Julia entered Lou's office, she was shocked to see Vicky sitting in one of the chairs that was positioned in front of Lou's large walnut desk. Julia wanted to turn and run, but she knew she wouldn't get far, so she kept a poker face and waited for Lou's next move.
Have a seat, please. The coffee will be right up.
When Julia sat down next to her, Vicky could see that Julia was doing a good job of playing it cool. Vicky knew exactly what was going on, but Julia could only guess. Vicky gave Julia the standard dealer customer recognition.
Hello again.
Hello?
Do you two know each other?
No, I mean, of course. She was one of my dealers.
You won a lot from her.
I won with both dealers, and then I started losing, so I quit.
What is this about, Mr. Liu?
It's just a verification process that we sometimes go through. As you know, checking the videos, interviewing the player and dealer. Nothing special.
Uh-huh.
So I ask you, Miss Hawkins, was there anything unusual about Miss Rivera's play?
No, nothing. Just typical play. She was cautious at the beginning, got lucky, got a little braver, and increased her bets until my shift was over. Of course, I didn't see what happened after that.
She kept winning with the new dealer as well.
Why isn't he in here too?
He's out there dealing now, no sense interrupting his shift. Besides, it was with you that Miss Rivera got the lucky breaks with. Doubling down, splitting aces and all.
Nothing unusual about that. The split, she doubled down and got lucky.
I don't understand. Didn't I play the cards right? What am I being suspected of?
Nothing really. Like I said, this is just formality. So, you two don't know each other?
It's the first time I remember dealing to her.
It's my first time gambling at the MGM.
No, I mean, are you two friends? Did you meet before this?
Oh, I get it now. You want to know if I was helping her, or letting her get away with helping herself with a gadget or something.
It's just a question.
She had no counting gadgets on her, as far as I could see. And as far as helping her...
Now wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
You can check the tapes, if you haven't already. I deal straight. I only know how to deal straight. Check the tapes.
No need, I had your table watched live, as well as a few other tables.
Other tables? Then why call me in? Why pick on my table?
I can assure you, Mr. Liu, that I don't have any calculators on me or whatever.
I'm sure you don't.
And now I think I'd like my money.
Are you willing to submit to a search?
You mean under my clothes? A strip search?
Done by my female staff member, of course.
Yes, you can strip search me, but not by one of your security guards that could plant something on me. I'll agree to have it done by a regular on-duty policewoman. You can call one right now, and after that search, I'm going to file a harassment complaint about what's happening here. Even a false imprisonment complaint, because...
Now hold on there.
I never heard of this happening to someone that's won so little money compared to the big money I read about people winning in casinos.
All right. No need to get hot about that.
If someone is accusing me of something, I have the right to defend myself.
I wasn't accusing. I was just merely verifying.
It sounded like accusing, not verifying.
Betty, has Miss Rivera's winnings arrived?
Yes, sir.
Bring it in, please.
All right.
Okay, Miss Hawkins, you could go back to work.
My shift just ended. I was about to change when you called me.
Okay, then. See you tomorrow night. And I apologize for all this, but I have to verify some of the plays. It's just policy.
Yes, sir.
Here you are, sir. $88,000 in hundreds.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Rivera, here's your money. Please count it.
I trust you.
No, don't trust me. Please count it.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8 packs. It looks to be another 8,000 in there. It's all here.
Would you like a pouch?
No? It looks like it'll fit in my purse.
That's a pretty big purse you have there. It's like you came prepared to win.
Enough, please.
All right, fine.
Well, thank you.
Are you staying here at the MGM?
No. I'm at the Luxor across the street.
How'd you like to move here for the rest of your stay? I'll see to it that you get a luxury room comped, dinner at one of...
I'll be leaving tomorrow. But thank you.
Well, I hope to see you back soon.
Yes, I'll be back.
Let us know when you plan a visit.
I will. Thank you. Goodbye.
Good luck, Miss Rivera.
Julia, gripping her purse with vice-like pressure, walked out of Lou's office. She was careful to control her speed. Not too fast, not too slow either. In the casino area, she felt like every camera was on her. Looking for the doors that led to the taxis, she passed the bar, which prompted a twofold idea of having a drink, One, she needed a drink to calm herself. Two, and more importantly, if she was still being watched, it would look like she was not in a hurry to escape the casino. Make her look like, well, not the guilty gambler that she actually was. Scanning the bar, she saw that the checkered jacket-wearing jerk wasn't there, so she sat down on the stool as casually as any customer would. She ordered a vodka and tonic and nursed it for 15 minutes, hoping to look relaxed under the eye in the sky. Then, after asking the bartender the way to the taxi area exit, she casually proceeded in that direction. In a few moments, the small green exit sign that the casinos try so hard to hide came into view. It felt like an eternity before she was pushing on the heavy glass doors, getting hit with the fresh air, and seeing the line of taxis. Soon she was in a taxi. As she headed toward the Strip, she could see the New York Hotel through the front window. The roller coaster that surrounded the building was just passing with its screaming riders. She thought,
No need to ride that. Too tame for me, after what I've just been through.
As the cab rounded the corner of the MGM, heading down the Strip, Julia looked out the window to see Leo, the giant golden lion. She mentally called out to him.
Hey, Leo. I walked into your mouth after all. You had a chance to devour me, but not tonight, Leo. Not tonight.
As her cab approached Vicky's apartment, Julie was happy to see that her Jaguar was still there. She paid the cabbie, gripped her cash-laden purse tightly, and stepped out into the dark street. The cab drove off as she approached her car and gave it a quick look. No one had slashed her tires nor keyed the fading paint job, and none of the windows had been broken. A miracle in this neighborhood. She now felt like quickly dividing up the money with Vicky and driving out of town, even at night. But she was too drained to do that. She thought,
Oh well. One more unpredictable night with Vicky, and then get back home to pay off some bills and make some plans.
She walked up to the door of Vicky's apartment building when suddenly from behind her came a voice.
Don't move, lady. Not 1 inch.
What?
That's a 38 snub nose in your back. It could do a lot of damage to a little girl like you.
Don't hurt me.
Just do what he says, Julia.
Vicky?
He grabbed me at my car, Julia.
And now it's back to your car. Come on, move, and hold tight to that purse of yours.
Stop it.
Let go, you're hurting me.
Leave us alone.
Shut up. Just get over there and open the door.
All right, easy.
You're driving, Vicky, and you get in the passenger side. You try to run, you only get 2 steps before a bullet stops you.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, quit stalling. Start it up and let's get the hell out of here.
What is this about?
You don't remember me?
What? Oh, Jesus, you. From the blackjack table.
Yeah, you got it all right.
What do you want?
It should be pretty clear, honey.
He knows what we did, Julia.
Yeah, I figured you and her were doing something crooked at the table, especially when I saw you taking all those chips in.
That's not your business.
The hell it ain't my business. If it ain't, I'm making it my business.
Where are we going?
Just turn left and then hang a right, get on the freeway going north.
Go north?
Yeah, north.
Just stop this, Freddie, and let us go.
What? You know him?
I'll say she knows me.
He's just an old boyfriend.
Oh, come on, Vicky. That hurts. I'm more than that and you know it. We're partners.
Not anymore.
What's happening?
We did some scams together until I got caught, and he ran off to let me take the heat.
What heat? Serving drinks to those hoods for 6 months? Big deal.
That's not all they made me do. And you ran off and left me there.
Please, stop the car.
Of course I ran off. If those hoods knew I was part of that deal, they would have beaten the hell out of me. There's the on-ramp. Take it.
I would have liked to have seen them beat you.
Or done worse to me.
You deserve worse.
They would have killed me.
I would have asked them to let me watch.
You shouldn't joke about things like that.
Oh, God.
6 months I had to work for those bastards. 6 months to pay them back.
So what's a few drinks?
They made me do more than serve drinks. You know that.
So what's a few guys? Especially for someone like you.
Just shut up, Freddie.
Vicky, stop the car. He can have the money.
She stops the car, I shoot you in the leg, and then...
Like hell we'll give him any money.
If you want the money, whoever you are, I've got it right here.
I know you've got it. I know the scam you guys did.
Just take it.
Because me and Vicky used to do the same scam once or twice a month.
Biggest mistake I ever made. Doing stuff with you.
But we did just a couple $100 here and there. You two, wow, what a rack of chips you were carrying back there. All that orange, how much did you win? Come on, don't make me count it.
It was a lot.
I thought you'd lose it all with that next dealer. Why didn't you stop like we agreed?
I don't know. I just felt lucky.
Jesus, Julia, you could have brought us both down by doing that. I told you, the more you win, the more they check you out. And look what happened. You put my boss on our tails. We were lucky to get out of there.
I got the money, no problem.
If Gertrude and Mary Poppins are through talking about the specials at the supermarket, would Gertrude please tell me how much money she goddamn won?
I won $88,000, all right?
$88,000. Then you didn't lose any of it.
I have $88,000 in my purse. But $5,000 is the money I started with, my money. So whatever you decide to do, please let me keep at least that. If not, I'll lose everything.
Freddie, she'll lose her condo if you take it all. And this was supposed to be my start for a new place, a new life.
Ha! Oh, boo-hoo. Now it's Gertrude and Mary Poppins on The Young and the Restless. Now let's get this straight. I don't give a damn about either of you or any of your problems.
Freddie, we need this money. We really do have some big problems to take care of.
You'll just have to take care of them without this money.
God, do we have to go through all of this?
Let me out, Vicky.
Just write it out, Julia. He's not going to do anything.
The hell I won't. I got some problems myself that need ironing out. Bigger than yours could ever be.
That's not my problem. You were always pushing your garbage on me. Well, not anymore.
Why didn't you ask me to do this big-time blackjack play with you? I could have handled it. You know I could have. Why'd you ask her?
Because I haven't seen you for a year. Not since that last time.
You could have found me. You could have damn well found me in Vegas, easily.
And you could have found me after those gangsters let me go.
Oh, come off it, Vicky. The truth is, we both knew it was better for each of us to stay away. Better and safer. Now here we are, back together again.
We aren't back together at all.
And if certain people found out about us, they'd get pretty well suspicious. And when they get suspicious, that's as good as cement boots.
Yeah, right. Cement boots in the desert. In Las Vegas, they use holes in the desert, you dumbass hick.
And they use cement boots off Hoover Dam into Lake Mead. So who's the dumbass hick, huh? Come on, tell me, who's the dumbass hick?
You are, Freddie, because you're so...
Look, mister, can't we go back to town and split the money 3 ways so we can stop this?
3 ways? Wow, I like your sense of fair play, honey. That's a good one. You know, if it had just been me and Vicky on this gig, or if you and I had been partners, then I would have been happy with the usual 50-50. But I'm not the kind of man who likes to be short-ended.
Man? Huh, don't flatter yourself.
I didn't short-end you or anybody. I don't even know you.
You didn't short-end me, but Miss Royal Highness Vicky sitting there sure as hell did. So I'm taking all the winnings.
Please, not my $5,000.
Sorry, but I'm taking it all.
Quit playing with yourself, Freddie. You're not gonna do jack.
Oh, you don't think so? You don't think I could shoot you in the shoulder right now?
Not at 70 miles an hour, you won't.
I could shoot somebody in the shoulder right now. And maybe it'll be you. Say, what's your name anyway?
Don't worry about my name. Just think about what you're doing. Let's not do anything that we 3 can't walk away from.
That's damn smart. What do you suggest?
I already suggested it. Divide the money equally.
Give him a share? For what?
For figuring out what you two were up to? For hiding out in the dark, waiting for you two to drive up to your place? And for just being smarter than both of you?
A lot of people would give you an argument on that last one.
Shut up, Vicky.
Stop it, asshole.
Okay, look. Right up there. See the sign? Range Mountain Road? Slow down. Slow down. Take the off-ramp.
Where are we going?
We're going to the Range Mountain. Can't you read?
Come on, Freddie, let's talk.
No talk. Just go straight up there.
There's nothing out there but darkness.
That's the idea. Nothing there.
What do you want, Mr.
No last names, babe. Just call me Freddie.
He's Freddie, wannabe gangster the stupid.
God damn it, Vicky. Do I have to bump you both off right now?
Oh, Jesus.
If you're serious, I'm crashing this car right now and taking my chances.
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm kidding.
You're goddamned right you're kidding. Or you'd be sailing past me through the window right after I hit a telephone pole.
Ha, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
For sure.
Okay, slow down. The road turns to the left up there. Just keep following it.
I think it's time that we just talk this out and divide the money fairly.
Fairly? Jesus, Julia. He's got you so scared that now you think it's fair that he takes part of it?
I just want this to stop. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, now you're talking sense. Vicky, you should listen to your friend here.
You and I were friends once, Freddie. So why don't you cut this out? Let's drive back to town and talk this over at my place.
Not a chance. Okay, now, slow it down a little more, Vicky. It's coming up on the left.
What is?
Right over there to the left.
This is crazy.
Okay, go easy now. Go easy now. Turn right into the field.
Here?
Yeah, it's flat. It's okay. Just take it easy.
I can't see Jack out here.
I don't think I can take much more of this.
Right up there by that stack of cement pipes. Just a little more. Right there. Stop. Perfect. Perfect. Turn off the engine. Leave the lights on.
Please take me back.
Now what, Mr. Big Shot?
Now we get out. You too, honey.
Freddie, you were always into small-time stuff. Don't go big-time on me and do something stupid.
Okay, honey, what's your name? Julia. You stay right here by the car and don't move.
Please, stop this.
It's okay, babe. Now you, Vicky wise ass, you move over there.
Over where?
Right over there.
I don't like this, Freddie.
Just move or I'll shoot off a few of your toes. How'd you like that? Huh, Vicky? No more open-toed shoes the rest of your life?
Jesus.
Stop this.
Move right over there next to that ditch.
You're scaring me, Freddie.
Be careful, honey. Go slowly and stop before you fall in. That's right, Vicky. Oops, stop right there. Don't fall in. Not yet, anyway.
Look, just take the money, drive off, and we'll go back on our own.
Vicky, what should I do?
All right, now you're really scaring me. What's this about? It's not only about the money, is it?
No, I'm sorry, honey. You're right. It isn't about the money. I mean, I'll take the money too, but those guys we scammed last year, they did figure out that I was involved in our scam. Not right away, but just a couple weeks ago.
Paid them back? Serving drinks, the tricks, all of it. I paid them back.
But now they know I was your partner. Now they want to hurt me.
Oh, Vicky, what should I do?
I shot up my big mouth, you know. You know how I am with my big mouth, and I get around town and about what you and me did, and they came after me.
I paid them back with 6 months of servicing those bastards. So what's this got to do with me?
I had to promise them something, Vicky. I had to promise them you.
What?
You promised them me? What are you talking about?
You know how those guys are, the sons of bitches. They like to show they can make people do stuff, the bad stuff.
No. Freddie, this can wait.
Give them this money.
This can't wait, Vicky. They're gonna kill me. They will kill me if I don't do this.
Just run, Freddie. Just get out of town.
No, they always find out. They'll find me. I could go to the North Pole and they'd have a goddamned Eskimo stick a spear in me. I can't run. They'll find me.
Julia, do something. He's serious.
He's got a gun.
Look, Freddie, you can run. We can run together.
No, it won't work. Not with these guys. I have to show your body to those pricks.
We have this money.
Yes, take the money, all of it.
What about her?
Just leave her here and we can split.
I'm sorry, honey. They want to see you lying dead in this ditch. They're probably watching us right now.
For God's sakes, Freddie.
Oh, Jesus, God.
Julia, don't tell anybody I died like this.
I'm sorry, honey. I gotta do it.
He's going to kill us both, Julia. Run.
Oh, God, this is harder than I thought.
Suddenly, Freddie's groin exploded from Julia's adrenaline-charged kick from behind.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Though bent over in screaming pain, Freddie automatically kept a tight grip on his pistol while still remaining on his feet. But the rock that Julia crashed down onto his head made him fall. When Freddie hit the ground, his pistol fired. Vicky screamed out, her hands jerking to her chest. She fell backwards onto the ground, rolled over the edge of the ditch, and disappeared into the blackness below. Julia knew her attack on Freddie wouldn't keep him down for long. He still had the gun in his hand, and she wasn't about to try to wrestle it away from him, so she ran into the darkness.
Come back here, you bitch!
With heart-pounding energy, Julia was able to run a good distance before Freddie could get to his feet. She was wearing a dark-colored blouse, so she figured she could run upright and soon disappear into the night. Still, she did some fast zigzagging to make it harder for a bullet from Freddie to find her. Julia didn't know if Freddie had initially planned to kill her along with Vicky, but he sure as hell planned to kill her now. The sound of a pistol shot confirmed that for her as she waited the split second for the bullet to hit her, but it didn't. She stopped zigzagging and ran full speed straight ahead through the dark field as the second shot rang out. The hit never came. Not knowing if Freddie was chasing her and not wanting to slow her pace to look back, Julia kept running full speed, rattlesnakes and gopher holes be damned. Suddenly another fear came upon her. Where was the $88,000? She looked down as she ran. Yes, even in panic, her left hand knew its job as it clung tightly to the handle of her purse. It had been on her arm as she picked up the rock to hit Freddie and gripped in her hand as she ran away. Surveying the darkness that surrounded her, Julia looked for house lights, but there were none. Freddie had chosen this secluded area well, but since they had only driven about 10 minutes on the freeway, she knew that she couldn't be too far away from town. But in what direction? But now, the direction that mattered was straight away from Freddie and the ditch that held Vicky's body, so she continued to run into the darkness. Suddenly, something hit her in the stomach, stopping her cold and flinging her backwards onto the ground. Looking up, she could just make out the barbed wire fence that she had run into. She was lucky. Either her clothes protected her skin or the barbs weren't angled to pierce her. Either way, she didn't feel any pain from cuts, but that sudden stop and being thrown on her backside stunned her, so she took a moment to get her breath and senses back. Then she heard the sound of a car starting up, Freddie coming to search for her, no doubt. She stood up and saw the car's high beams coming her way in the distance. Now she was happy to have run into the fence, just the thing to stop a car. Julia got to her feet and worked herself between the top and middle wires of the fence. She heard a ripping sound, but it was clothes, not skin. On the other side of the fence, she took a moment to look back. She saw the car, about the size of a matchbox, driving off and disappearing behind a hill. Had he given up chasing her? Freddie knew that Julia would eventually make it back to town one way or another. But then the answer came to Julia. Freddie would most likely stake out her car and wait for her there. But no matter what Freddie was planning on, the first thing Julia had to do was get back to town. So she kept moving forward at a fast walk. Soon Julia's steps became a little harder to take. She had come upon a hill which would move her out of the valley she was in. After a few more minutes, the steepness of the hill increased, and the effort of her past running caught up with her. She needed to rest. She sat down on the hill, looking back over the valley from where she had escaped. It was as black as it had been when she ran through it. She looked up at the overcast sky. No moon, no stars. Julia stood up and slowly turned around, searching for anything that could point her in the right direction. Then she saw it. What was that glowing cloud? Was the moon lighting it up? No, it was lit from the bottom. A beam of light. A searchlight, maybe. No, a light from Egypt, the strongest light beam in the world, shooting up from the top of the Luxor Hotel. Julia started walking upward toward the lighted cloud. 5 more minutes of walking got her to the top of the hill, making the town of Las Vegas rise up like a gleaming Atlantis reborn from the sea. She stopped to take in the sight, to glow in the fact that she was still alive. She checked again to see that her purse was still gripped tightly in her hand. Not the attack on Freddie, the run through the valley, hitting and climbing the fence, or moving up the hill had lessened her grip on it. Now she had to get to her car. It was not only her ticket out of town, but necessary to remove it from the front of Vicky's apartment. She couldn't have her license plate on display there when the police started looking for clues to Vicky's murder. Even if Vicky's body wasn't found, she'd eventually be listed as missing by her landlord or relatives. The lights of the residential area were about 2 miles off in the distance, with Fremont Street perhaps another 6 miles. The downward trek that she was now on would get her to the first residential area in less than an hour, she figured. It's probably not even midnight, she thought as she glanced at her watch, but it was unreadable in the darkness. The blackjack scam at the MGM, Vicky's murder, and escaping the scene of the killing had all probably happened between 9 and 11, but it felt like all night to her. Still, she knew she had the energy to get in her car and drive out of town. But how to get to her car? She couldn't walk the whole 8 miles. She would probably pull too much exposure with Freddie looking to shut her mouth permanently about what happened to Vicky. And Freddie would also make an $88,000 bonus for shutting it. Then she remembered that her purse not only held her financial future, it also held her cell phone. Once she got to any street, she could make use of it, if the roaming service could connect her. Before continuing on, Julia turned toward the valley where Vicky was lying in that ditch. In a few short days, Julia had met Vicky by chance, gotten close, run a scam with her, and saw her die. Julia felt tears about to come to her eyes, but she held them back. No time for that now. She turned her back on the scene of the murder and headed down the other side of the hill toward the lights. It was 20 past midnight when Julia's tired feet finally hit asphalt in the beginning of the residences in North Las Vegas. She was glad to get off that hill and onto a street where a taxi could get to her. Her cell phone showed a good signal, so in 20 minutes a yellow cab showed up and she was on her way to Fremont Street, which was close enough to where her car was parked. She wanted to get to Vicky's Street on foot and check out the area before approaching it. She wasn't about to get out of the taxi and step right into Freddie's line of fire. In 10 minutes, Julia was dropped off at Fremont Street, where she cautiously began walking up the dark, tree-covered lane where her escape vehicle was parked. She realized that Freddie would most likely be there waiting. Sure, she could rent a car to get back home, but not with her license plate sitting there ready to be traced. She didn't want to be lying on her sun deck one day and have Freddie show up with his pistol. Better to get it over with here, one way or the other. She tried to stay in the shadows on the sidewalk as she neared her car. She stopped when she saw smoke coming from a cracked open window of another car. The car was facing away from her and toward where her car was parked. Was that Vicky's car? Or had Freddie picked up his own car? It was too dark and at a bad angle to be certain. There was a dark shadow in the driver's seat. She knew it could be just a guy having a smoke as he waited for his wife to come out so they could go midnight casino hopping. But it was probably Freddie. Back at that ditch, Julia's mind had switched to her prison survival mode. Now she was no longer Julia from San Francisco. She was prisoner number 62416 from Valley State Prison. Julia weighed a mere 110 pounds, but had fought off female inmates twice her size. She'd be damned if she let any of those prison bulldaggers make her one of their old ladies, so she always made sure to have an edge, always attacking first, with powdered soap into the eyes, a sharpened toothbrush into the armpit, or a piece of pipe to the teeth. And now tonight she needed an edge again, because Julie had made up her mind that she wasn't going to let Freddie trace her to San Francisco.
Whether it's a prison cell or a condo, my home is my home, and my body is my body. Hands off both of them.
The old downtown side streets near Fremont Street had numerous pawn shops. Julie had seen them earlier in the day when she and Vicky had gone out to eat lunch. Prison inmates had taught her about the connections many pawn shops have, especially in a town like Vegas. And in Vegas, the shops are open 24 hours a day to serve addicted gamblers. Julia looked into the window of the first shop on the street, saw there were no customers in sight at the moment, and entered.
Come in, little lady. What can I do for you?
Knock off the little lady, please.
Sure thing. I didn't mean anything by it.
I need to buy a gun, and I don't want to wait for the license and all that.
In a hurry, huh?
Yes.
What do you need a gun for?
Protection.
Well, you don't want this shop.
Oh? What shop do I want?
Are you a cop?
No.
In any way connected with the police?
No.
I think maybe you want Johnny Reb's shop across the street and to the right.
He can help me?
Ask Johnny Reb, not me.
Across the street?
That shop right over there, to the right.
Thank you.
That'll be $100.
For what?
For the information and the goodwill.
And to keep your mouth shut about me if anyone asks.
That too.
Here you go.
Thank you, little lady.
Don't call me. Oh, hell. You're welcome.
Exiting the shop, Julia looked both ways at the empty, dark street to make sure Freddie wasn't around. Then she crossed the street and entered the other, much dumpier-looking pawn shop.
Howdy, babe. Don't be shy. Can I help you with something?
I'm looking for Johnny Reb.
That's me, Johnny Reb, just like the song. You fought all the way, Johnny Reb, Johnny Reb.
Oh,
you fought all
jeez.
the...
Enough. I don't know it.
By Johnny Horton?
Sorry, never heard of it.
No matter. So how can I help you?
You mind turning that down a little?
Sure, no problem. Now, what can I do for you?
The man across the street said you could get me a pistol, quick, with no hassles.
Whoa there, cowgirl. What's the matter? Your boyfriend stand you up tonight?
No hassles, no questions, please.
You're gonna have to answer one question.
All right, ask.
Are you in any way connected to the police or any other law enforcement agency?
Does it look like I am?
Just answer.
No.
Okay, well, in that case, I've got a card here. Cost you $200.
200 for a card?
Call the number on it. It's good for 24 hours a day. I'm writing down this weekend's password on it. Be sure to tell the guy that answers the phone he'll get you what you want, if you have the cash.
Okay. Thank you.
That's $200.
Right. Here you go.
Thank you. Now don't do anything foolish.
I'll just do what Johnny Reb did.
Fight all the way?
Exactly.
You should get a copy of that song.
Yeah, right after I get the pistol.
Back on Fremont Street, Julia walked inside the lobby of the Four Queens Casino for safety and punched the numbers on the card into her cell phone.
Yeah.
Yes? I got your number from Johnny Reb.
What's the password?
Oh, it's Snake Eyes.
So, what can I do for you?
I need a pistol.
Type?
Oh, I don't know. Reliable? Easy to handle.
For you?
Yes.
I've got a .38 special with me. Untraceable. You can handle it, no problem.
All right.
It's $850.
Fine. What about ammunition?
Of course. I'm not going to sell you an empty gun. I've got a rep to uphold.
Plus a box of shells.
You gonna start a war?
Just a pistol and a box of shells.
You got the money now?
Of course.
Where are you?
Fremont Street, at the Four Queens.
Okay. If you walk 1 block north on Main, you'll come to Ogden. There's a parking lot on that corner. I'll meet you there in about 30 minutes. That's Ogden and Main.
Ogden and Main parking lot. Got it.
You're alone, right?
Yes, I am.
What's your name?
It's Henrietta.
What do you look like?
I've got long brown hair. Petite.
See you in 30 minutes. And you better be alone.
I will be. Snake Eyes. Jesus.
Ogden and Main was a dark corner with no one around as a new green Mustang pulled up next to where Julia was standing. The driver, an attractive middle-aged man, rolled down the window.
Hey, are you Henrietta?
Yeah, that's me.
You don't look like any Henrietta I ever met.
I can't help my name.
Yeah, I guess not. But I recognize your voice, so it's cool.
Do you have what I need?
Sure. I didn't drive over here to talk. Lean in close and give me the cash. Is it all here?
$850.
Yeah, looks good.
I never fired a gun. Is this one easy?
Sure. A .38 Special. A 6-shooter, loaded with 5 shells. Not so bad a recoil, but you should use both hands when you fire it. Other than that, you can handle it. Here it is, inside this magazine.
Is it ready to fire now?
What are you gonna do? Shoot me and take the cash back?
Is it ready?
Yes, it's double action. Cock back the hammer and pull the trigger. Or just pull the trigger.
What about the extra shells?
I've got a box right here for you.
You said there's 5 bullets in it now?
Right. The chamber on the barrel is empty for safety, but when you pull the trigger, or pull back the hammer, the cylinder turns and you're ready to fire. You know, lessons are extra. Don't you see them shooting on TV?
Could you load in a 6th bullet?
Jesus. What are you gonna do? Wipe out a casino that you lost in?
No, it's just protection.
Lady, you're not wearing a just protection face. You got the looks can kill face tonight, let me tell you.
Please. I want 6 in.
Man, I pity the 6 dudes you're after tonight. Just make sure I'm not around when you start letting loose, huh? Okay? There's another round in. Now you've got 6 to fire away with. Here you go. By the way, you need any uppers, downers, or grass? In fact, for you, I'd recommend a couple of downers.
No, thank you.
You know, I could set you up at Moonlight Ranch. A fine lady like yourself could make a lot of money in a week or two.
Good night.
Yeah. If you need anything else, you've got my number. Same password.
Snake Eyes.
Right. Jesus, lady, be careful.
I will.
Pistol in her jacket pocket, Julia slowly proceeded back up across Fremont Street and then turned onto the dark street where her car was parked and where the dark shadow of a man, probably Freddy, might still be waiting. In a few minutes she could see her car in front of Vicky's apartment. With concentrated eyes she scanned across the street. The man in the car was still there. He had his back to her and was still in shadow. Julia couldn't tell if it was Freddy or not. She never killed anyone, but she knew it would be no problem killing Freddy for what he had done to Vicky, and mainly for the fact that Freddy would keep pursuing her until one of them was dead. But she didn't want to kill an innocent man, so she had to be sure before firing. The main thing she learned in prison was never give the other inmate a chance to get the upper hand, never hesitate. She grabbed the gun out of her pocket and headed toward the car in a quick but steady walk. Using both hands now to steady her aim, she approached the man from behind on the driver's side. The window was halfway down. The man's head turned. It was Freddy.
No, Jesus, no, it was...
In her San Francisco condo, Julia was lying in her bed trying to sleep. It had been 5 nights since her desert ordeal. As she lay there, she worried about the police connecting her to Freddy or Vicky's body and then tracing her back to San Francisco. They could come banging on her door anytime, she figured, if her luck didn't hold out. And there was also a chance of some of Freddy's gangster connections finding out what had happened and getting to her with a baseball bat. She had ordered a full-service home security alarm the day she returned home, but the installers wouldn't be there for 2 more days. Any slight sound she heard kept her from a deep sleep. Tonight, the thunder and lightning coming in from the ocean was making any long sleep impossible. Julia imagined a bowling ball continuing down a mile-long lane and never reaching the pins. Face down on her pillow, she tried again to sleep. But what was that? A voice mixed in with the thunder?
In the roulette game of life, men are the rake.
What?
Poor Freddy. He never did have much luck.
What the hell?
Looking up into her dark room, Julia saw a shadowy figure sitting across from her. She rubbed her eyes, but the motionless shape wouldn't disappear. The ambient light coming through the window backlit the figure, revealing nothing but the steel blade it was holding.
Oh, I'm dreaming.
No, you're not.
What? Please tell me that you're not a ghost.
I'm real.
What? I mean, Vicky, you're dead.
No, I'm very much alive, Julia.
I saw you killed.
I'm here.
But how?
Remember you and me and Freddie out in the desert?
Of course.
When you hit him with the rock?
Yes?
Well, that rock really did the trick. I heard it all from that ditch I was in.
You weren't shot?
Freddie's gun had blanks in it. When he fell and fired, I fell and rolled into the ditch. Right after I landed, I heard Freddie yelling.
Come back here, you bitch!
I climbed out of the ditch and saw Freddie kneeling on the ground holding his head. Where the hell is she?
Jesus, she kicked me in the balls, hit me with a rock.
Shut up and fire another shot.
What?
Just fire another shot. Is she running?
Yeah, she took off like a bat out of hell. But she kicked me and hit me with that goddamn rock. You said she'd get so scared she'd just run off.
Well, I figured wrong. So what? She ran off like I figured she would.
But my goddamn head, jeez.
Fire again.
Look what she did to me. Look what she did to me.
What are you complaining about? I had to fall into a goddamn ditch.
Didn't you hit the mattress?
Yeah, I hit the damn filthy thing.
But look at my head. She bashed my brains out. Jesus.
Let me see. Hold still. Just a little blood. You'll be okay.
It hurts like hell.
Don't worry about it. Shake it off.
Easy for you to say you didn't get kicked in the balls.
Better you than me.
It should have been you.
Where's the money?
In the car, I guess.
You guess? What the hell? Where is it?
It must be in the car.
It's not here. Didn't you take it from her?
No, I was into my act. I thought she left it in the car.
Well, she didn't.
Isn't it on the ground? She must have dropped it when she hit me. Oh, God.
I don't see it.
Keep looking.
It isn't here.
Son of a goddamn bitch.
You mean she's got it?
I guess she does.
You are one stupid jerk, Freddie. I told you, grab the money, scare the hell out of her, shoot me, and she'll run.
Yeah, but she hit me in the head and took off.
Took off with the money.
Sorry.
Well, you'd better go and get it.
I can't even see her now. I'm in no shape to run.
You are one useless excuse for a man.
We'll get her. We'll get her, I promise.
How? The car is no good out there. We'll end up in a ditch.
We'll cruise around the road and see if she shows.
What if she hitchhikes, going north?
She won't. She came to Vegas by car, didn't she?
Yeah, parked in front of my place.
Then she'll most likely go for her car.
Maybe so. Okay, then. Let's get to my apartment in case she tries to get her stuff.
God, and I'll stake out her car. If I live.
Well, now at least you're using your head.
What's left of it? You got a Tylenol or something? I'm dying.
No. What am I, a drugstore? Jesus, all of this work, all that risk, we'd better end up with that money.
You know, after this, I might have to use more than just blanks.
No. What are you talking about? We can't do that. Not for 88 grand.
Well, one way or another, we're gonna get that money.
Well, you know the rest of what happened.
So you two were just out to pull a scam on me?
It almost worked.
So why are you here right now? Here with the knife?
Well, Freddie and I drove back to my place. I went inside. Freddie kept an eye on your car. And then later, I heard the shots. I looked out the window and saw you drive off.
Yeah, I got the hell out of there quick.
With the noise waking up the neighborhood and a body out there in my car, I knew I had to split, and quick. So, I threw some of my stuff in a bag, walked down to the Greyhound bus station, and jumped on the first bus out of there. I ended up in Tucson, and then grabbed another bus to LA from there. I used my credit card to buy a train ticket to Chicago, and from there, I paid cash for a bus ticket to San Francisco. Hopefully, if the cops are looking for me, they'll be looking for me in Chicago and not here.
So you and Freddie let me take the risk at the casino, and once I won the money, you planned to scare me, make me think you were dead, and I'd run off back home and hide from Freddie with no questions asked?
That was the idea.
Jesus, what? You were both working me.
I'm sorry.
Of all the low-life people I've had to deal with in the past, you two are the only ones that really worked me.
That couldn't be helped.
Couldn't be helped? You were working me ever since you ran into me at Fisherman's Wharf. Oh, God, am I stupid. You ran into me on purpose, didn't you?
Well, I had this plan with Freddie and...
A plan? You put me through all that because you had a plan? I could be in prison again if that casino manager had gotten wise.
Me too, Julia.
But me too, Julia, would have been a first-timer and got probation. Me? They would have put me back in prison. Sure, you were taking a chance. But if you pulled it off, you would have gotten all the money. I'd be running for my life in that desert and maybe get a bullet in my head from Freddie.
Freddie had blanks in his gun, like I said. We weren't planning on killing you, just scaring you.
And that's supposed to make me feel better. What was going to happen when I ran off with the cash? I bet I was on your hit list when that happened. I bet Freddie loaded some real bullets then.
No. I would have stopped him. I did stop him.
You would have tried to stop him. Tried. But I would have ended up dead just the same. He was waiting for me near my car, and he would have killed me, right?
No, he promised just to take the money and scare you back here to Frisco.
And you believed him?
Look, I'm sorry, but I just needed a fresh start in life, and Freddie was too scared to let me deal him cards for big money. He'd only win a couple of hundred and then quit.
So you tracked me down to see if I had the guts, huh?
Yes, I did. And so what? Look at your place here. You've got everything. Look at my place. It's a downtown dump. I had to get out of there.
I have my own problems holding on to this place, like I told you, Vicky. And your life isn't my responsibility.
All the same, I needed that money. And I still do.
Now what? You've got a knife there. You plan to kill me and take the money?
Well, I wanted to talk first.
The money's in the bank. What's left of it, after I paid a few pending bills.
How much is left?
It's around 80,000.
I want it.
Or else what?
Or else you're gonna get cut up tonight until you say yes.
In that case, Vicky, I have to tell you that ever since Las Vegas, I sleep with a pistol. The pistol that I killed Freddie with.
Oh, really?
It's under my pillow as we speak.
Do you think you can make a grab for it? Before I dive on you and sink this into your chest?
Gun beats knife in every game, Vicky.
Well, I guess a gun does beat a knife.
Just like paper, stone, and scissors.
Yeah, maybe so. But only if there really is a gun under that pillow.
There is, Vicky. And besides, that's just a bread knife you have there.
It's from your kitchen. It just happened to be handy.
What are you gonna do? Serrade me to death?
It's an idea.
And then slice me up and sell me at the Boudin Bakery.
It does have a poetic ring to it. But what the hell?
So, are you thinking that we shouldn't actually stab and shoot each other tonight?
It'll keep. Besides, I never planned to stab you. That would really be a waste.
I'm glad to hear that. I really didn't feel like shooting you. All that noise, it's too much.
Now what?
Let's just catch our breaths for a minute. Jesus, Vicky, you made me kill an innocent man.
I wouldn't call Freddie innocent. He's hurt people in the past.
Well, he won't be hurting anyone anymore, I guess.
He wanted so much to be a con man, but he just couldn't cut it. Did he know it was you that shot him?
He saw me at the last moment.
I heard 6 shots go off.
I wanted to make sure he wouldn't follow me here.
You made sure, all right. Poor Freddie. He could mess up a cup of coffee. Is that going to last all night?
Rolling thunder. We get a lot of that by the ocean.
Oh, I just remembered. I have a gift for you.
Hey, wait a minute. What's in the purse?
If I had a pistol, I wouldn't have needed the knife. Now would I?
Whatever you've got in your purse, pull it out slowly.
It's the ID tag from your suitcase you left behind. I figured the police would be searching my apartment once they found Freddie's body in my car. And I didn't want them finding your ID and put 2 and 2 together and then coming after you here.
Or following you here? That's what you were really worried about.
Yeah, right. I mean, I only had a few minutes to grab what I could and get the hell out of there. What, with Freddie dead in my car? And I figured that your place was my only safe house, as it were. That's why I ended up here.
A safe house with cash.
With my share of the cash, yes.
Well, anyway, smart thinking, Vicky. Grabbing my ID tag. Thanks for covering my ass.
My pleasure. Oh boy, I'm beat. You know, for the past 5 days and nights, I've been sleeping on buses and trains with one eye open. So now I'm thinking.
Thinking what?
Well, right now, you know what I need?
Tell me.
I need to sleep. And I mean a long sleep. And I need a place to hide out for a long time.
I understand. And you know what I don't need?
Tell me.
I don't need you calling up any of your Vegas friends to hassle me about the money.
That's right. You don't need me doing that.
Well?
Yeah, well?
Well, I guess that makes us partners.
Yes, that's right. It seems as it does.
Partners in everything?
In every way.
Well then, I guess this is the only way to ensure my survival. So, okay, it works for me.
Move over. We're bound together now, you and me.
You mean we're stuck with each other?
Well, that could be good. Or it could be bad.
Let's make it good.
Nice idea.
Oh, there's nightgowns and pajamas in that drawer over there.
No need. Move over, darling. Oh my God. You do have a pistol under your pillow.
I told you.
I can't sleep with that there.
All right, Miss Squeamish.
Jeez, it probably has some of Freddie's blood splattered on it.
Don't worry, I wiped it clean.
I like a smart girl.
I'll just put it here on the nightstand in case we need it.
Good.
Oh, brother.
What?
I'm sleeping with a dead woman.
What's wrong with that?
There's no future in it.
I don't agree. I think there's a bright future in it.
You know, $80,000 isn't going to last us very long.
Especially split down the middle.
Right.
So?
So what do we do when the money runs out?
Don't worry. I won't let us go broke.
Promise?
I'll think of something.
Well, whatever you come up with, just don't hurt anybody.
Look who's talking.
Oh, wow. You really love to stick it in, don't you?
Sorry.
That's okay. I like you that way.
What way?
Direct.
Well, whatever my next plan is, I'll most likely need your help.
I'm in as always, Vicky.
Good.
Three weeks later, Julia was on her sun deck. She was stretched out on her new double-sized lounge chair, letting the midday sun pound her nude body into submission. She now felt confident in her future. So confident that even the sound of the back gate being unlocked and opening didn't alarm her. Even the sound of a man's footsteps coming up from behind her did not make her reach for a towel to cover her body.
Hey, Julia. How's it going?
How did you get through the gate, Robert?
My key. I still have it.
Then I guess I should ask, what are you doing here?
Well, I decided to take a break from L.A. Too much of a hassle.
Really?
Well, to be honest about it, things just quite didn't work out down there.
I see.
So, I thought I'd crash here for a couple weeks. You know.
No, I don't know. I don't like unexpected and uninvited guests.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. You're just not staying.
Come on, Julia, just a couple of days. We'll have a good time.
No, thank you.
Well, I need to crash someplace. At least until I can figure things out, so I'm staying.
Leave now, Robert. I mean it. Or else.
Or else what? You don't have the balls to make me leave.
There's a guy in Las Vegas named Freddie that would give you an argument if he could.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that in prison, I've beaten the crap out of women tougher than you.
The hell you say? You were never in prison.
There's so much you don't know, Robert, especially about me.
When were you in prison?
10 years ago.
What were you in for?
Involuntary manslaughter.
Are you kidding me?
I beat the hell out of one of my boyfriends with a table lamp. He died.
Oh, come on.
He had it coming.
Bullshit, Julia. Look, I'm not about to waste money on a motel just because you got pissed off about me leaving. Now, you can lay there like you own the world, but don't tell me what to do.
Close the gate behind you when you leave.
Don't you push me, goddammit. Don't try pushing me, Julia. You want me to get tough with you? Is that what you want? I did get real tough with you a couple of times, remember?
I remember.
And I seem to remember you liked it.
You liked it. I endured it.
Well, you might just have to endure it again if you keep mouthing off to me. And besides...
Don't move, asshole. Hands up.
Hey, watch where you're pointing that thing, will you?
I'm pointing it right where I want to. Right where it'll do the most damage. So keep your hands up and freeze.
What the hell?
Better do as she says, Robert.
That's right. You'd better do as I say, Robert.
All right, Jesus.
That's a good boy.
What's going on, Julia? Who is she?
She's with me.
With you? What's that supposed to mean? I don't get it.
And you never will. Not for me, anyway.
Jesus, you two.
What's the matter, Robert? A couple of nude women too much for you to handle?
They are when one of them's holding a gun on me.
More's the pity.
Now what?
Put my house key on the table.
Hey, man, I need a place to crash. I'm also broke.
Scratch your balls, Robert.
Scratch
Do
my...
it.
All right.
Now, if you want to keep those balls, put Julia's house key on the table.
And then get permanently lost. Robbie.
Julia held the sound of the last E like she was stabbing a shiv into an inmate that had ratted on her. Robert stood there frozen. He looked down at Julia for a moment, and then looked over at Vicky, who was still aiming at his groin with an expression on her face like she'd be happy as hell to pull the trigger. He shook his head, took one key off his keychain and tossed it on the drink table next to Julia's wine glass. Groaning under his breath, he turned and walked out the back gate. Was it the wind carrying the sound from Fisherman's Wharf? Or was it only in her mind that Julia could hear Laughing Sal's infectious cackle?
This has been the Ronin audio book production of Wicked Players, starring Christina Ramos, Josie Barber, Cal Waite, and Tom Gully. Written and narrated by Paul Kyriazi. Supporting actors were Harry Mock, Jan Van Tassel, Nathan LeBlanc, Roger Glenn, Pat Adillo, Janet Engelbert, Bruce Dowling and Laura Denke. The production was directed by Bruce Dowling, produced by Jan Van Tassel, associate producer Harry Mock, script supervisor Ron Huff. Other audiobooks by Paul Kyriazi are McKnight's Memory, narrated by Frank Sinatra Jr., performed by Robert Culp, Nancy Kwan, David Hedison, Henry Silva, Barbara Lee, Don Stroud, H.M. Wynant, Gary Lockwood, Ed Burns and Alan Young. Rockstar Rising, narrated by Rod Taylor, performed by Russ Tamlin, George Chakiris, Robert Culp, James Darren and Kevin McCarthy. My Casino Caper, performed by Ed Burns, Alan Young, Henry Silva, David Hedison, and Michael Callan. The Mexican Swimmer, performed by Julian Scott Urena. And the Spectre edition of the self-help classic, How to Live the James Bond Lifestyle. This audio production is copyrighted by Ronin Audiobooks, April 2016. No part of this audio may be used without permission. Thank you for listening.